Good morning, friends. This early morning session is dedicated to class 10. As the board exam is in May, that means the practical for class 12 has to start now within 2 or 3 days, and for the class 10 exam, the theory papers, the exam will be in May, so the children may be little bit lazy and lethargic. They might be thinking just to relax, but that is not the time to relax. They have to keep revising every subject. So in order to enlighten their preparation and make them tune with the subject matter, I have been giving topics, I have been revising the literature time and again. So this is an attempt to make them refresh with their preparation, and that is why I'm thinking of just giving some brief idea of the poem Amanda by Klein. That is poem number 6. The very first thing that you'd like to ask, that what is this poem Amanda written by Klein about? Well, this poem deals with the upbringing of a girl child, Amanda. Often the upbringing of a girl child is quite different from that of a male child. Girl is supposed to be highly disciplined right from her early childhood. Here, the poet makes a point that a girl or any child should be given freedom and space. Every child must be given freedom and space. No child should feel trapped under the continuous nagging of the parents. Here, the poem highlights the struggle faced by the girl child, as she is often instructed by her parents in does and don't, and that makes her completely moody. Though it is the parents who are responsible for the proper upbringing of the child, yet this should not, make the child feel trapped. Actually, Amanda is prepared to be acceptable for their society, and this training needs freedom to be cut short. And that is the reason why she feels a bit moody. Her imagination has not been given any consideration. Therefore, she is a bit moody and she often gets angry. You know, the training needs her freedom to be cut short. Her imagination is not given enough space, thus making her so angry that she even wishes to be an orphan. The instruction is often unfriendly and therefore it doesn't make any sense. The continuous nagging by the parent has thus made her moody. The process of making oneself presentable to the society trumps over every other behavior of the child, and that is the reason why we'll find that in every stanza the last word is written with an exclamation mark. This clearly suggests the irritation and frustration of the parent. Say, for instance, the very first stanza is, don't bite your nail, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. The last word, Amanda, is with exclamation sign. So this clearly suggests that the parents are almost frustrated. The exclamation sign mark shows the irritation and frustration of the parent. In the very first stanza, the poet makes a point. Amanda is getting instructed, most probably by her parents, for biting nails and sitting lazily with her shoulder bent. The tone of the instruction is not a friendly one and thus makes no sense to Amanda. The poet here focuses at the aspect related to the upbringing of a girl child and how her parents go to any extent to bring proper sense to their child. Amanda thus getting trained to be acceptable to the society. The process of making oneself presentable to the society trumps over every other behavior, and thus we find that the every in the stanza number 1, The last word Amanda is with an exclamation sign, which shows the irritation and frustration of the child. The parents keep on instructing Amanda on the does and don't, but Amanda remains lost in her own, dreams. The parents believe that Amanda's behavior has made her parents look bad. They are worried about their own image because they are concerned about their acceptability to the society through the acceptability of their girl child. They are simply concerned about how society would perceive them if their child always remains in a foul mood. They want to prove themselves as a responsible parent as anyone else who manages to balance out what the child wants. So the entire poem is a mix of the poet's, attempt of proper upbringing of a girl child and the you know reaction of the child towards the instructions given by the parent. So this is how the poem comes out. With that, we are not going far in details, but I have just highlighted this important point and one question I am just dealing with so that the children will be now more enlightened. The question is, uh, who is the speaker in the stanza 2 and 4 and 6? So do you think this speaker is listening to the is listening to the speaker in stanza 1, 3, 5 and 7? Speaker of the stanza 2, 4 and 6 is the child Amanda. No, in the stanza 1, 3 and 1, 3 and 5 and 7, the speaker is not listening to the child's response, as now the speaker is not listening to the parents instruction as she is lost in her own dream. Amanda is lost in her own dream. So we find that in a stanza 1, 3 and 1, 3, 5 and 7, the speaker is not listening to the instructions given by the parents. She is lost in her own imagination, which provides her an escape from her sorry reality. Actually, the child throughout the poem, Amanda, wants to escape from the real world because in the world of her dreams, she finds herself comfortable and she is away from any sort of instruction and regimentation. One of her parents is speaking to her. Most probably, it is her mother. In a traditional household, mother is held responsible for the proper conduct of the child. In this case also, the range of instructions suggests that the speaker is Amanda's mother. And the last question is, how do you think Amanda is? How do you know? I think Amanda is about 9 to 10 years old girl, school going child. She is being scolded for things typical for that particular age. Every child in the age of let us say 6 to 12, the or 9 to 10, they are always instructed, particularly the girls are always instructed by the mother to sit properly, to behave well, not to bite the nail, not to bend her body, keep herself straight while sitting. Her parents are always trying to make her behave well, and so she is being disciplined for the purpose of being acceptable to the society. And therefore we can say that Amanda is very innocent, immature, because the age group 9 to 10 is just a childish innocent early childhood, where the school going girl or boy, they are not much aware of what the society want. They are often full of their dream and imagination. So the parents also should think about the freedom and space that is required to be given to the child for the proper growth. That is where the fault lies. That if we are not understanding that a child in the age group of 9 and 10 or 6 to 12 needs certain freedom and space, because after all the growth of emotion of the child, the growth of affectionate behavior depends entirely on the environment of the house, and therefore the parent must be conscious enough to allow the child to enjoy certain freedom, and dream and imagination should always kept in mind that the child is always dreamy and she or he always wants to remain free from nagging and negative instruction, because when the instruction is unfriendly, it doesn't make any sense to the child. That is what I wanted to suggest. Thank you very much for listening. Patient listening. This is Mr. Eddie Singh on the channel Easy English by Eddie Singh, and it is your channel. Thanks.